Sortie 3, Multi-Option Sortie Brief, 30 October, 3067. FWS Retribution, Captain Eisenhower's conference room. Lieutenant Commander Dane Bethesda, Retribution N3.
Good afternoon, Captain Eisenhower, staff, and pilots. I know it has been said already, but outstanding work securing us a backdoor into the Comstar digital communications network in this region of FWL space. Also, you downloaded the crypto key from the communications station. I know it may feel like a drop in the ocean compared to what the Jihad has taken from us, but we struck back in a meaningful way to enable critical follow-on operations. And we did it without those Blakist bastards even knowing. Already, N6 has established communications with a friendly exiled League unit, the 13th Long-Range Strike Squadron, an autonomous and organic FTL-enabled squadron of Marauder heavy bombers that escaped its home base of Uriel on the border of Capellan Confederation space. They've been holed up in the Malone-Matruce system, 3 parsecs from here. They're full up, airframe-wise, just lacking reserve munitions, and they can't do much without a fighter patrol. So they'd love to be paired up with Retribution CVW-7. However, Jihad forces have narrowed their potential hiding spots down, and they will likely be under assault before long. Comstar aims to finish the job. In addition, we've also confirmed the location of the 367th Reserve Light Cavalry Brigade, the Space Cowboys, in the Elytrium system, at the very edge of our hijacked communications range at 5 parsecs in the opposite direction. They're not much of a brigade these days, having had most of their mechs decimated similarly to the First Free World's guards, but they've got plenty of spare parts and a crack team of maintainers. We could put their skills to good use in our hangar bays to increase our repair and refit efficiencies. The semi-independent monarchy there is resisting with all they've got, and they've got quite a bit, considering Elytrium is home to BattleTech, one of the richest producers of field artillery throughout the League. Getting our allies out will be tough, and will require us smashing a hole through the orbital siege, picking them up from behind friendly lines, then getting out before getting vaporized. Getting the native government of Elytrium to join our ranks will be tough. They've resisted unification with the League for 300 years. Don't count on them joining our cause, but you can be sure they'll happily fight Comstar alongside us in their own system. That's all we've been able to contact for now. Once we branch out beyond the Cobalt cluster, hopefully we'll be able to find other lost units and bring them under our banner. Over to N2 for the critical intel you helped us gather.
Lieutenant Commander H.P. Gibson, Retribution N2.
Our cryptologists, along with Major Nova's staff, have been able to decrypt the Comstar key you secured on declaration. Damn fine work, Amex. Damn fine intelligence we've been able to process as a result. We've now got a regularly updated look at some Comstar deployments throughout the Free Worlds League and the Inner Sphere. As you can see, they've taken virtually all major inhabited and industrial systems throughout the League. The Atreus invasion force was just a fraction of the forces they assembled in secret, and they've concentrated most of their combat-ready units in our systems along the Capellan Confederation's borders. It looks like they're preparing for a renewed push into Confederation space, with a pincer of a mass concentration of forces that are already fighting there, to finish what pockets of organized resistance are left. This presents us with an opportunity to perform raids on the Blakist's less defended holdings in League space, and to unite our exiled brothers and sisters under Captain Eisenhower's command. N3 already introduced our options for rescuing friendly forces. Now we're going to discuss our options for striking at the enemy's soft underbelly. Our new intel indicates that there are currently 2 available targets of opportunity based on the intel you collected. First is a Blakist logistics hub in the Aldari system. It's home to a large cache of munitions and other assorted war materiel. We don't have the forces to occupy it and use it for ourselves, but we could raid it and destroy what we can't take with us. It's highly likely that we'll be able to take a large stockpile of ammunition, which will feed us for the next few sorties, and access to whatever special weapons and equipment has been staged there. Based on our analysis, we can almost certainly nab a couple of heavy tanks, assuming we can get in and out relatively quickly. If it devolves into a pitched battle, we'll likely have to settle for ammunition and leave the tanks. In orbit are mostly Blakist supply ships with minimal defensive or offensive power, so Retribution and Intrepid should be able to jump up into orbit and hold the line until you set that place to blow. But we'll be on the clock, as word is bound to be passed back to Comstar Regional HQ as soon as we arrive. Our recent access to Comstar's deployments indicate that the nearest available Space Action Group, or SAG, led by the cruiser CSS Vindicator, could arrive within a couple of hours. So you'll have to get in, mark what you can for pickup, break charges, and get out, so that we don't get embroiled in a shooting battle in orbit. Finally, the other critical intel lead we have is a planned Comstar surprise attack on the current hiding place of the FWL Navy's FWS Orion, a fleet destroyer. If we move quickly, we can intercept the Comstar ships en route to Orion, and then make contact with her once the comms environment is safe. Then we can bring her under Captain Eisenhower's command and add one more ship to our little strike group. That would make for Retribution, Intrepid, and Orion. Over to Major Nova to conclude the briefing.
Major Patrick Nova, 1st Free World's Guards S2.
You've all been given. No, you've earned these great options to continue to take the fight to the enemy in the limited ways that we can afford. Keep in mind, however, that the windows of opportunities are limited. Given the normal turnaround time it takes for us to refit, repair, and rearm after a standard sortie, we'll have to choose 2 out of these 4 options that we've discussed that we can execute within the windows of time that these will be available to us. Either that, or we may be able to execute a 3rd if we choose not to repair our units from a given sortie to the next. That will be close though, and we'll have to see just how these play out. Our final option to tackle these is to split the strike group, send Intrepid to 2 and Retribution to 2, but then, obviously, we'll be diluting our forces at the culmination points of each, both in the naval engagements that are required and the ground battles, and we'll have to split our firepower down the middle and bring less mechs and wing space support to each battle. Over to Captain Eisenhower and the staffs to discuss and decide.